on to the National Football League. I don't know if y'all were watching Monday Night Football this past week, man. But referees, man, you would think the replacement refs were in we're working this past week. Yeah, the replacement refs, because there was a obvious missed call at the end of the Lions and Seahawks game where KJ Wright, where initially Calvin Johnson catches the ball and is extending for the goal line, never breaks the plane to the goal line, but the ball gets deflected out of his hands and turns into a fumble by Cam Chancellor. So the ball's bouncing in the end zone when KJ Wright comes and then just there's a little tippy tap out of bounds. So the ball further so the ball further goes back out of bounds. But NFL rules regulate that neither team or player can touch the ball or bat the ball in either end zone. And on the offense, it would be considered a safety. The defense is supposed to be a penalty, and you get the ball at the goal line for the offense. But what actually happened in the game was the Lions lost possession, and the ball was given to the Seahawks as a touchback. So, if only one can guess what might have happened if the Lions get the ball at the 1 yard line for first and goal and get 4 attempts to score the ball. So I mean, it makes the league look a certain kind of way, because I mean these weren't replacement refs, because the replacement refs years ago messed up a very big call in the Seahawks and Packers game. Seems like the Seahawks are always in controversial calls, right? Yeah, they messed up
about that. Was it the interception or the catch?
Yeah, it was that very play, and the replacement refs ruled it a touchdown when it was supposed to be ruled like one ref saying interception, one ref is going like this.
Yeah.
So it's like, you're like, wait, what? And the rule states if a receiver and a defensive player both catch the ball, a possession is awarded to the receiver. But I think the ref awarded possession to the defensive back. So it cost the team a victory that day. So now it's like these are the real refs, and you're messing up calls. So how do y'all think about this? This debacle that happened, and because the NFL is just like, we missed the call. Yeah, they're just like, hey, we missed the call. But you can't just say you missed the call, because if you get that call right, you could potentially tell me that the Seattle Seahawks would be 1-3 right now in a division with the Rams. Yeah, with the division with the Rams, the Cardinals, and the 49ers. They would be 1-3, where the Rams would be 2-2, and the Cardinals would be 3-1, and the Lions would be sitting at 1-3 instead of 0-4. So Detroit Lion fans are like, y'all robbed us, because I mean, you give a team 4 chances to score at the goal line. I mean, and you got Megatron, well, formerly known as Megatron, because he ain't been playing like Megatron. It's a very good possibility they could score or at least tie the game up. But what do y'all think about this call? How it reflects on the league? Rashad, we'll start off with you.
It robbed the Lions out of a win. The Seahawks should be missing the playoffs this season now, but now they're still having a running for it.
You mind if I say a stat real quick?
Go ahead, say a stat.
So there was a stat that if the Seattle Seahawks would have lost that game, their chances of making the playoffs would have been 35%. But if they won the game to improve to 2-2, which they did, their chances to make the playoffs would be 60%. So now they have a 60% chance of making the playoffs.
So that percentage was
it's basically like in a division like that where the Seahawks now can actually potentially win the division now, because they're 2-2 instead of 1-3. You have, even though you're tied with the Rams and the Cardinals are 1 game ahead, we see when it comes to division, the Cardinals can be a little suspect when they play divisional games. Granted, the Rams have really good defense and everything too, and their offense was clicking that day. But the Cardinals, when it comes to the division game, they're a little suspect now. The Seahawks are starting to click. They're undefeated since Cam Chancellor came back. So they're gonna continue that drive. 12th man is coming back alive now. So now they got this momentum going. So them winning this game off of a bad call that should have been Detroit's ball at the 1 yard line for 4 plays actually is gonna help out the Seahawks. And basically the Lions season is done. Time for them to tank, because they can't. There's no way they're making the playoffs. There's no way they can make the playoffs now, thanks to KJ Wright batting the ball out.
All right, Khalid, what is your piece about it?
I do agree with Rashad when he said, hey, I just had in my head, and Uh, but I'm not gonna worry about what Rashad said. What you call it, the Lions? They definitely were robbed of that win because they probably would have got that win, that touchdown in what 4 tries on the 1 yard line. The officials really need to pay attention because aren't they supposed to, when they fumble, aren't they supposed to review it? Or is that just for a turnover?
It's only on a turnover. You can't review a penalty. So if somebody say if somebody would have recovered the ball in the end zone,
Then
you
they
review
wouldn't
you review.
review it.
But the thing is, you review you review a fumble, so you can review the fact that Calvin Johnson fumbled the ball,
yeah.
but you can't go back and look at the KJ Wright,
Swatting it out.
swat and then call a penalty afterwards. It's like at that moment he has to either throw the flag or not. He was like right there, like he's right there. Like the ref is looking at KJ Wright like this when they bat, and then they huddle up, and then they don't say anything. They just like, oh, no
If he
problem.
was right there at the point about to throw the flag, he should have went ahead and threw the flag because that's an illegal move, and they know they're not supposed to do that. If you've seen it, there should have been instant flag.
All right, I'm gonna play. I'm
See what the ref said?
gonna play devil's advocate. Okay, wait. Say what you're gonna say.
Basically, how the back ref was like, basically from the motion from him looking at it, it didn't look like he actually batted the ball out. That's basically what the back judge said. So that's why he didn't throw the flag. It's because it looked like from what he saw, from where he's looking at it, because we saw it, plenty of times slow down and see how the ball starts coming backwards and everything. But yeah, think about it's kind of like the same thing of a ref and a foul and a charge. It's you see it real time, you see it one time, and he said from what it looked like, it didn't look like he batted the ball out, so he couldn't throw the flag.
He wouldn't been able to review it.
Yeah, so that's why he didn't throw the flag.
I see what you're saying there.
But okay, so I'll pose a question to you. So if the ref is sitting there looking at the ball, right? And like he said, we also, because it's easier for us to be like, oh, he missed the call. But when we see it slow down, we see the ball starting when it bounces coming towards KJ Wright. It bounces like this, so it's starting to turn backwards towards him, and then KJ Wright's and bats it out. But to the ref, he may be thinking, oh, the ball's already going out of bounds. So if it was already going out of bounds, it's going to be a touchback anyways. So and pretty much a touchback would be the other team would get the ball at their 20-yard line. So the ref's sitting here thinking maybe he's gonna go out of bounds anyway. So there's no point in me throwing a flag on it. What do you think about that perspective of the ref thinking it maybe that's how it happened?
And he doesn't see.
He doesn't see the reason to throw the flag even when they huddle up. He tells the other refs that. He's like, I don't see the reason to throw the flag.
I think at that point, then if that's exactly what happened, then
no, I'm saying that's how he might see it.
Yeah,
but we saw what happened. The ball was bouncing back into the end zone, and once the ball is a fumble, it's a live ball, so anybody can recover. So if a Lions player would have recovered the ball in the end zone, it would have been a touchdown. So KJ Wright's batting the ball out of bounds, so nobody can recover it, so they get the ball back. But what do you think that from that perspective, how the ref might have saw it? How do you think about him not throwing the flag?
I understand him not throwing the flag at that perspective, but seeing it at a different perspective as the viewer and as being able to see it back to back because he wasn't able to review it, so he didn't see it again. So I see where he's coming from at that point, but from my viewpoint, it definitely was an illegal move.
Like I just think it makes the NFL look bad because I mean these are your top of the line officials. Like these aren't your replacement refs that you pulled from some high school game or college game. These are top of the line officials. They're supposed to know every rule in the rule book from A to Z. And from them not knowing or for him not, applying this rule at such a pivotal point in the game. Because I mean, a lot of stuff applies to if a ref throws a flag or not. Like, I mean, you got to think about it. They're playing in Seattle, and you make that call. There's gonna be a lot of upset Seattle fans, and you're just sitting there in the stadium. You make that call. I mean, you gotta go home at the end of the day. So, for a game to be decided on a call like that, I mean, at the end of the day, you don't choose not to or to throw a flag because of where the game is being held at and what kind of fan base they have. But you gotta apply the rules as they're put in the rule book. You can't just withhold your whistle, because that initially cost the Lions their season.
But like you said, you gotta throw the flag. But like I said, like you saw it in real time. So what about the NBA refs? if they don't call a foul on the final possession of the game when it should be a foul,
that's
or
wrong too.
or if they don't,
That
they
is
don't,
also
they
wrong.
call a charge instead of a blocking foul because he was moving his feet.
No, but I'm
gonna say
saying
he's wrong for that too.
no, because there's always
missed
human
call.
there's human error. It's a missed call. But there's a dip because he huddled with the other refs also.
talked about
There's
it.
more than one ref on the field. He's just the back
But
judge ref
he's
that has
one
the
that
best.
saw it the best. So his
But then
opinion
when you
does more
see
than-
KJ Wright going like this, I mean, you can only essentially guess that he is batting at the ball. When you essentially see it, I mean, we're seeing it. Way we see it initially, we saw it slow down and everything, yes. But way we're seeing it from the side camera view. He's looking right there, like from how I am looking at that door. He's sitting there watching the play, so he sees it taking place right in front of him, and he sees KJ Wright running up to the ball and going like that. And then you see the change of the ball spinning as he bats it out.
We don't see that. We can't see the change of the ball spinning because
But I'm saying,
we see it. He don't see
but
it.
I'm saying we're not refs. We're not trained to
know.
see that. He is. That's why he went to school for this. So that refs are held to a higher standard of accommodating to the rules. He's supposed to be able to decipher all this. Yes, that's the point of refs. There's room for human error. There's room for you missee things sometimes, which is why especially in basketball, because it's so fast, and that play also happens so fast. But when you see a man go like this to a ball and the ball goes out at a faster rate than it was bouncing initially, I mean, you got to kind of assume that he touched the ball, especially if the ball is bouncing up like this, and all of a sudden it's sitting in the air, and then he's running by, and it all of a sudden just moves forward. You're gonna kind of assume that he touched it. He had done something with the ball to make it move. It's not just gonna all of a sudden just move out on its own. I mean, nobody got psychic powers now, so you gotta assume that he touched it. And that, as for the NFL, I mean, that's your top of the line officials, and it's like if you're getting calls wrong like that, I mean, it doesn't make it look good. I mean, granted, it's hard for anybody to say that, because the refs have some of the toughest jobs in all sports, especially refs in soccer, football, and basketball, because there's such, like fast-paced plays, like, the speed of the game goes so fast. It's just hard to make judgment calls just right off the bat. But it's just like, man, you cost the team their season, and like, damn, the NFL, all you say is just, we missed the call, guys. You can't do anything about it. But it's just like you have to. I feel like the refs should be held to a higher standard of culpability, in a sense, because for them to just be like, hey, we missed a call, but then you're all over it when a player has a helmet to helmet hit or something like that, or when something happens to players are held culpable, at a high expense, but the refs aren't. You see what I'm saying? So if a player tackles somebody wrong, or like Odell Beckham struck a guy the other day in the Bills game, nobody saw initially at real-time speed, but then when they go back and they saw the play, he's getting fined for it. So it's like you hold players culpable of their actions, but when the refs mess up, all you say is, we missed the call, guys. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's just not a good look. But same